Okay, class, today we're talking about American culture, reflection on the article that we had to read for this class. I believe that overall this class culture video is going to be interesting because I found that the article was really interesting. It depicted a lot of interesting, it's like a Muslim slash, I would say, Muslim slash a voodoo type of feel. Like a lot of voodoo stuff, believe in magic, mythical stuff, spells, traditions, a lot of different spells and all that type of good jazz. Muslim is like the same as well. They have a strict religion. They don't believe in giving birth. They believe in doing certain things that are natural. They don't believe in natural stuff. The woman is subject to the man's authority. The men are given more practice stuff. They do a lot of stuff. They don't believe in multiple gods. There's so much that can be said in stone about this article that it just has me for a loop. As a whole, I find it very depicting and interesting to American culture. And I believe that Christian society in each culture has some type of similarity to it. I feel like Christian culture has a similarity to this culture and this article with some of the rituals that were performed outside of the giving birth part because that's a different culture in its own. But I believe it's still fascinating to understand what we read about. Now, what I do want to get into next is the what modern practices does that a lot of communication can be done nowadays with between the article that I read with the body ritual, another by the necromancer. I do know that a lot of people believe in doing growth hormones or switching genders or making bigger boobs smaller, making getting flat, getting thinner body types. So therefore, having a smaller body, making it big, making a big body making a small body. So there's some part body rituals that we do, like that make us different human beings. Like some people change from female to male, male to female. So there are a lot of things in this ritual by the necromancer that a lot of people do, and a lot of people make a lot of money off of. Getting bigger breasts, it can be getting a bigger, larger male enhancement. That's another thing. Or skin are also vasectomy. That's another thing that a lot of this thing can do as well. Like I feel like a lot of people misinterpret this article thinking that our cultures are all the same when it's like each one has been depicted by each other, and that's why American culture is so unique because it's filled with different cultures throughout over the decades and years. But I do understand that coming from me personally as like Christian, I understand that hey, you have to get snipped when you're a kid. You're supposed to be snipped or circumcised. So therefore, that's a depiction of body ritual because that requires body ritual portion on the body. So therefore, I understand where they get that from, and that's a Christian thing. It's something that each culture, specifies that. Some don't, some do. It varies on that regard. But I think communication wise, I would say that there's so much going on with this article that I really would say that each practice and each ritual that's been done in this article, I feel like has been done over the years with different cultures and different backgrounds. Therefore, it's hard for me to depict and bring different cultures down based on this type of depiction, but I do understand that each culture has come from this type of depiction. So therefore, it's still well noted that no matter what culture you come from, we all have similarities, we have similar skills, similar skill sets. So the next step that I'm going to bring into my life in the next few seconds is going to be about how this brings me to is ritual and practice. I feel like as technology improves over the years, I feel like it helps the culture background and rituals improve as well, such as that getting any type of changes on the human body is really easy nowadays because technology is so advanced to where back then it'd be more painful and more cost efficient. Now it's more cost efficient, but it's easier and less painful. So therefore, depending on what you're trying to do to your body, as far as any type of practice you want to do in your body or any type of rituals you're into, I feel like it's easier to have a stronger voice and a stronger gathering amongst people that may follow what you say, may follow what you believe in, may not believe in the same thing. Different depictions of it, and throughout years of history, I've seen it increase. And I feel like the more and more we evolve as humans, the more and more I feel like each ritual, practice, communication changes over time. So therefore, the evolution of man is still going to constantly progress. I don't see it regressing. I really see that each step in communication, ritual, and pattern is going to change by decades. Each decade is going to change. That's how I feel in that regards. Now, which brings me to the next part of. So, when it comes to depicting course evolution and changes, we have to come with two icons. Gandhi was a big Muslim person. He believed in being free spirited, was not violent, but he did believe in a lot of rituals and body motions that were done with necroma. Now, another person that doesn't get no credit, but at the same time still part of, I feel, of the body rituals would be Maria Laveau. Now, I researched her. She was started in Louisiana, and she was there from 1794 to 1881. Now, I want you to submit and think about that for a second. That's over 2,000, about over 200 years that this person was around, and she was doing rituals for God knows more than that. So the body rituals that she got had to come from this culture, or some type of culture, or maybe the Bible. But I want to leave you with this point is that evolution has arrived and voodoo is still voodoo. I mean, it's still magical. It's still mythical. Nobody can put a spin on it. God has no control over it. There's no way to really depict what you can feel about that motion. And Gandhi is as I feel like Gandhi and peace, as long as there's violence, there is peace. So I feel like people can go that route of Gandhi, which is a strict route, a strict Muslim route, and he believed in a lot of things that the Necron believed in this body ritual article. And I feel that U.S. culture has learned and depicted a lot, especially from voodooism. Like, I feel like that is a big thing in New Orleans, and people, when they talk voodoo in New Orleans, they're not really taking that slide of foot, very serious about that. They've seen rituals, they've seen stories, they've heard from people performing it, they perform the rituals. It's just a lot of stuff that New Orleans is known for. Like, that whole state in Louisiana, you can't talk about voodooism and not understand what it came from. It started in that state and city, and it'll end in that city. So therefore, people need to understand that this has changed culture over times. It changed decades. I still believe people still may perform some of the same rituals, maybe not too extensive to the point, but still people may depict a little bit of this article. So that's my stand on that. I believe whatever you want to believe in, but I believe that if this body ritual of Necroma just depicted of Muslim strict culture and voodooism, very strict culture as well, and it's rite of passage. Whatever you decide to do, myself as a Christian, I will be a Christian. I'm not changing it, despite what I've read about from the first, second, Old Testament and New Testament. I'm still sticking to what I'm sticking to. Thank you.